Hello everyone, welcome back. This is the sixth tutorial class on analog communication, and this class will be presented by myself, Dr. Sudeep Mondal, Assistant Professor of Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering from Jalpaiguri Government Engineering College. Now coming to the content of this class, in this class we shall discuss two very important topics, that is quadrature amplitude modulation and SSB or single sideband modulation. Okay, apart from the QAM and the expression and efficiency of SSB, we shall also observe the different modulation and demodulation technique for the SSB, and the class will be concluded by discussing some advantages and disadvantages of SSB. Okay, so let's start. QAM. The full form of QAM is quadrature amplitude modulation. This procedure is also known as quadrature carrier multiplexing. As you already know, the meaning of multiplexing is many into one. Okay, that means we can send many signal. Here, in case of QAM, it is a process which can transmit two different DSB-SC modulated wave signal, where two different independent messages like X1T or X2T are used. Interestingly, in this process, the modulated wave occupy same channel bandwidth, but we can send two different baseband signal. Okay, basically, if we want to design a QA modulator, we need to use two carrier. The difference between these two carrier is that their phase is differed by minus pi by 2. Okay, so we can write the formal equation for the QAM is like AX1T into cos omega ct. This is the normal DSBSC equation, plus A into X2T into sine omega ct. So you can see that here we use two carrier. The frequency of both carrier are same. The only difference is their phase. That means the two carrier those are used to modulate the two different baseband signal are differed by minus pi by 2 phase. Okay, so because cos omega ct minus pi by 2, that is nothing but sine omega ct. Okay, so it is quite interesting to observe that by using single carrier frequency we can send two different message. Okay, so the first component of this equation is known as in phase component of QAM. Okay, whereas the second component is known as the quadrature component, where minus by minus pi by 2 phase shifted carrier is used, that is known as the quadrature component. So from these two term, that means as there is phase difference of minus pi by 2 between two carrier, the term quadrature is used. So this is the quadrature amplitude modulation. So if you want to design a QAM modulator, so obviously we need to use two modulator. Okay, and we need to use a phase shifter. The purpose of the using the phase shifter is to generate the sine omega ct from the cos omega ct. Okay, now this is the block diagram of QAM modulator. You can see that initially a cos omega ct is used. Okay, this can be generated by using a simple oscillator, and there is two separate or independent message signal. One is x1t, another is x2t. Okay, so now this is the product modulator 1 and this is the product modulator 2. So after using minus 90 phase shifter, a sine omega ct has been generated. Okay, So the input of the first product modulator is x1t and a cos omega ct, and inputs of the second modulator is or are x2t and a sin omega ct. Now after, so this one is the in phase component, this one is the quadrature component. Now if we add them by using simple adder circuit, we get ultimate QAM circuit, sorry, QAM signal. Okay, so this is the basic operation of QAM. Now we want to extract x1t and x2t from the QAM. That means we want to design a demodulator for the QAM. So for the demodulator, the process is just inverse of the modulator. So here we are using coherent detection technique. Okay, so for that purpose we need to use two product modulator and two low pass filter. The low pass filter with cutoff frequency are omega m1 and omega 2 respectively. Okay, so you can see that initially uh, a a dash cos omega ct has been generated in the receiver section by locally, and it has been multiplied to the STQM signal or QM signal by using product modulator, and after the using uh, 90-degree phase shifter, the resultant signal, that is a dash sin omega ct, has been input to the product modulator, second product modulator. Okay, now if we multiply a dash sin omega c t to the QAM, and after that if it is passed through the low pass filter, then the output of the second low pass filter will be half into a dash into x2t, and the output of the first low pass filter will be half a into a dash into x1t. Okay, so by using this simple approach we can easily separate the two message signal which are independent to each other. Clear? So this is the demodulation operation for quadrature amplitude modulation, where we need to use two product modulator and two low pass filter. Fine, I hope there is no problem. Okay, so that's all from the QAM. Now moving to the next topic, that is the SSB. The full form of SSB is the single sideband modulation. As the name suggests, single sideband, that means only one sideband is present in the spectrum. If we observe the spectrum of DSB, there is two sideband. One is USB and another is LSB. USB contain the higher component of the spectrum, and LSB component lowest component of the spectrum, lower frequency component of the spectrum. But it is interesting to note that total power of the sideband is equally divided into the USB and LSB, and they are symmetric with each other with respect to carrier frequency. Moreover, either USB or LSB both contain the total information of message signal. Okay, so it is quite feasible that if we can send either only USB or LSB, then our objective will be satisfied. That means we can easily transmit the baseband signal or message signal by using only one sideband. But so there will be one advantage of DSB, sorry, SSB over DSB. In case of DSB, the spectrum of the, sorry, the bandwidth of the DSB is twice of the message signal. But in case of SSB, as we are using only one sideband, either USB or LSB, so obviously the required bandwidth will be decreased. Okay, so SSB is more efficient with respect to bandwidth. That means it is bandwidth efficient over DSB. So from that point of view, SSB is coming into the scenario where only one sideband is transmitted at once, so that we can achieve spectrum or bandwidth efficiency. So let's see the spectrum of SSB. So assume that this is the spectrum of x omega, okay, and which is represented by this triangular pulse. Now, when in case of SSB, as we already told that we are only send either USB or LSB. Okay, so this portion content the USB section only, where USB is extend from omega c to omega c plus omega m, or minus omega c minus omega m to minus omega c. Okay, so the next this figure also denote the LSB type SSB, where LSB denote the lower frequency component. Okay, so in case of lower sideband SSB, the spectrum of the SSB extend from omega c minus omega m to omega c, or minus omega c to minus omega c plus omega m. So you can see that both are SSB, but this one is the USB type SSB, this one is the LSB type SSB. Clear? So just remember that only one portion will be transmitted in case of SSB. And the bandwidth, you can see that bandwidth. So what is the bandwidth of the SSB here? You can see that. So bandwidth will be omega c plus omega m minus omega c. So the bandwidth is omega m. Similarly for LSB, omega c minus omega c plus omega m, and that will be the omega m. So the bandwidth is omega m for USB or LSB type SSB. Okay, so this is the spectrum of SSB. Now let's derive an equation for the SSB-SC in time domain. First of all, we are considering singleton modulation. That means we are considering a message signal as a pure sinusoidal. So xt is given by cos omega mt, and carrier signal is given by cos omega ct. Both are pure sinusoidal. Now, as per the definition of DSB-SC, the DSB-SC will be cos omega mt into cos omega ct. Okay, so it can be expressed in term of higher frequency component and lower frequency component. That means it is easily expressed in term of cos omega c plus omega mt plus cos omega c minus omega mt, and you can see clearly see that omega c plus omega m, that is the higher frequency component. That means it indicate the USB, and omega c minus omega m, this denote the lower frequency component. That means this denote the LSB. So this term is respective to the USB, and this term is respect to the LSB. Okay, but in case of SSB, we are only sending one sideband, either USB or LSB. Okay, so here the equation for SSB SC, okay, single sideband suppressed carrier, but we are considering the USB, that is nothing but the higher frequency component. That means half into cos omega c plus omega mt. Okay, so we are using the ST for SSB SC USB. Okay, SC, that means suppressed carrier, that means no separate carrier component is present in the equation. So SSB SC USB, so that can be expressed like half into cos omega m t into cos omega ct minus sin omega m into sin omega ct. So that is the equation for the ESB type SSB. Clear? Now SSB with LSB can also be written as like half into cos omega c minus omega mt. So ST for SSB SC LSB can be written as like half cos omega mt into cos omega ct plus sin omega mt into sin omega ct. Just using the just expand this term cos omega cm, sorry, cos omega c minus cos omega, omega c minus omega mt. Okay, so in general, so you can see that two equation we got. One is cos omega m into cos omega ct minus sin omega m into sin omega ct, and for LSB the equation become half into cos omega mt into cos omega ct plus sin omega mt into sin omega ct. Okay, so by combining these two equation for USB and LSB, the general equation for the SSB SC can be written as like half into cos omega m t into cos omega ct minus plus sin omega mt sin omega ct. minus will be used for the USB, and plus will be used for the LSB. Okay, so here you can see that cos omega mt is the nothing but the original message signal. Okay, so we can easily substitute this sine omega mt by using cos omega mt minus pi by 2. So the equation for the SSBSC can be rewritten as half into cos omega mt into cos omega ct minus plus cos omega m minus pi by 2 into sine omega ct. Okay, now so far we are considering singleton frequency, that means pure sinusoidal, and only one single frequency is present in the equation. But for arbitrary message signal like xt, so this equation can be written as that st for SSBSC equal to half xt into cos omega ct minus plus xht into sine omega ct. Now what is xht? So xht has a property, you can see that uh, cos omega m is shifted by minus pi by 2 and we get sine omega t. So obviously xht is nothing but minus pi by 2 phase shifted version of xt. So xht is a single signal where the phase of the respective signal is shifted by minus pi by 2. Okay, so that is represented by xht, and this term is also known as, or we get xht by using Hilbert transform. Okay, so xht can be obtained by phase shifting by minus pi by 2 of xt, and this process is nothing but the Hilbert transform. Mathematically, Hilbert transform can be defined by using this equation: xht equal to 1 by pi integration from minus infinite to infinite x tau minus t by tau d tau. Okay, so simply xht equal to xt convolution 1 by pi t. Okay, now we can visualize the this Hilbert transform by using transfer function h omega. So the transfer function of h omega for the Hilbert transformation or Hilbert transformer can be written as h omega equal to minus j into sine omega, or you can write that it is minus j if omega greater than 0 and it is plus j if omega less than 0. Okay, so this is the transfer function of a minus pi by 2 phase shifter. That means if we are considering this type of a block diagram and whose input is xt, we shall get xht at the output end. Okay, and if we are considering the frequency domain, that means if the input of to the minus pi by 2 phase shifter is x omega, then we can get xh omega. So if we are making xh omega by x omega, that is nothing but the transfer function. So xh omega by x omega equal to h omega. Okay, and h omega can be written as minus j into sine omega. Now minus j can be written as in by using a trigonometry. So plus 1 into e to the power minus j pi by 2, and here plus 1 into the power e to the power j pi by 2. So you can see that. So plus 1 is the amplitude and minus pi by 2 and pi by 2 are the phase. So you can see that in case of minus pi by 2 phase shifter, the amplitude is constant. Okay, it is quite symmetric with the theory because we are only changing the phase, not we are not changing the amplitude. So the multiplication factor is always 1. That's why it is plus 1, and this one is also plus 1. Okay, and when omega greater than 0, the phase is minus pi by 2, and when omega less than 0, the phase is pi by 2. Okay, so the a phase shifting or phase shifter has the following properties. Okay, so the magnitude or the magnitude of the frequency component remain unchanged. That means the amplitude of the transfer function is 1. Clear? So h mod of h omega is 1, equal to 1, and the phase of positive frequency component is shifted by minus pi by 2 as the phase spectrum theta omega has the odd symmetry, thus the phase of the negative frequency is shifted by plus by 2. So you can see that for the negative frequency the phase is plus by 2, and for the positive frequency the phase is minus pi by 2. So this one is the amplitude spectrum, this one is the phase spectrum for the transfer function of the Hilbert transformer or minus pi by 2 phase shifter. Okay, fine. Now let's see that if we are using SSB FC, can we save the power? Because in case of SSB FC, we are sending only one sideband. So let's calculate the power saving capability, and that is defined by power in SSB by power in DSB. Okay, so if you are considering the SSBFC, that means there is some kind of carrier is present there. So what can be written that power in SSB is nothing but power in carrier plus power in one sideband, and power in DSB is nothing but power in carrier plus power in sideband for the DSB. So by using the simple formula, we can write that for SSB, PC plus PC into mu square by 4. We are considering only one sideband. It is already discussed in the earlier class that the power content in the one sideband can be written as PC into mu square by 4, whereas power content in both sideband, that is PC into mu square by 2. So ultimately the equation become 1 plus mu square by 4 by 1 plus mu square by 2. Okay, so 1 plus 1 by 4 by 1 plus half. Okay, and ultimately we get 83.33%. So it is um, very easy to observe that power requirement for SSB is less than the DSB if we considering the DSB FC or SSB FC signal. Okay, so what will be the excess power requirement for the DSB? That means 100 minus 83, that means almost 17% larger for DSB. Okay, now let's calculate the maximum efficiency for SSB FC. So the for, equation or the definition of efficiency is power in one sideband divided by power in carrier plus power in one sideband. Okay, that is for SSB. That's why we are using the term one sideband. So PC into mu square by 4 divided by PC plus PC into mu square by 4. So by cancelling PC from both part, we are getting mu square by 4 by 1 plus mu square by 4. And for the critical modulation, we know the maximum value is 1. So by substituting the value of 1 value of mu as 1, so we get 1 by 4 by 1 plus 1 by 4. Ultimately we get 20%. So the maximum efficiency for the SSBFC is 20%. That should be remembered. So now let's see the generation of SSB. That means how can we generate the SSB signal? We already know that the formal equation for SSB FC SSB SC is this, that is half into cos omega m, sorry, half into cos omega mt into cos omega ct minus plus cos omega m minus pi by 2 t into sin omega ct. Okay, and here SSB has two part. One is for USB, and that is represented by half into cos omega c plus omega mt, and another is SSB SC for LSB, that is half into cos omega c minus omega m into t. Okay, okay. Before starting the generation modulation of SSB process, the process for the modulation of SSB. So here an important fact should be noted down. So we have seen the time domain representation of DSB, where we can see that the envelope has been varied according to the SSB signal, according to the modulating signal, and we can see the respective waveform for the over modulation, under modulation, and critical modulation, where the envelope is varied according to the message signal. But if we observe the SSB SC signal in CRO, then what will happen? What will it look like? You can see that equation for the SSB SC for USB is cos omega c plus cos omega mt. That is nothing but, if omega c, value of omega c is 100 and value of omega is 1, that means the this will be nothing but cos 101 t. And similarly, the ssb sc for lsb will be cos 99 t. So both are the nothing but a simple sinusoidal. So in CRO, it will look like a simple sinusoidal signal, like either carrier signal or message signal. Okay, so how can we identify, or how can we tell that it is SSB? So for that purpose, we need to use spectrum analyzer. So if you use spectrum analyzer to observe the spectrum, there you can observe the respective frequency component to understand the SSB properly. Else it is not possible for us to understand it. Okay. Uh, so coming to the next topic, that is the generation of SSB. So generation of SSB is nothing. There are two popular processes are already exist. One is phase shift method, another is frequency discrimination method. So let's see. First process is phase shift method. So the formal equation for the ST is given by half into xt into cos omega ct minus plus xht into sin omega ct. So by using this simple formula, you can use, or you can generate the SSBSC. So first of all, we will generate the first term xt into cos omega ct by using a product modulator. Then you can use a minus pi by 2 phase shifter to generate the xht from xt, and again we need to use another phase shifter that will generate sin omega ct from cos omega ct. Okay, so you can see that it is quite similar to the QAM, whereas there are x1t and x2t, but here xt and xht. Okay, now after that, if we add them or subtract them, we can generate easily SSBSC. Okay, so you can see that this one is the input signal x, sorry, this would be xt. Okay, so this one is the xt signal. Okay, so we have used minus 90 phase shifter. So, or you can call it as Hilbert transformer. So output of the Hilbert transformer or minus 90 phase shifter will be xht. So now there is carrier oscillator, sorry, a local oscillator that is generate the carrier, which is given by a cos omega ct. So the okay, and again we need to use another 9 minus 90 phase shifter that will generate a sin omega ct. Okay, after that we need to use two product modulator. One will generate a into xt cos omega ct, and another will generate a xt into sin omega ct. Now if we subtract or add them, then ultimately we get this equation, or we ultimately get SSBSC. So this is very simple approach. This is known as the phase shift method, because we are just using two phase shifter to generate xht and sin omega ct, and then after that by using two product modulator, the output of the product modulators are added or subtracted to generate the respective SSB. Okay, so this phase shift method has two advantage. Okay, so we can generate SSB at any frequency. That means uh, if we can change the value of local oscillator or change the value of omega c, we can generate the SSB at any signal. Okay, so for that purpose, as we are not using any kind of bandpass filter, so obviously no tuning is required. So that's why we can generate SSB at any frequency. Okay, and again we are easily switch from USB to LSB, sorry, USB to LSB. That will be LSB, because we are using some adder and subtractor. So if we are using whenever adder will be used, then LSB will generated, and when the subtractor will be used, then the USB will be generated. Okay, now the drawback. Now the main drawback of the phase shift method is that the designing of my exact minus pi by 2 phase shifter is very difficult or very critical for all range of frequency. Basically, at low range of frequency, it is quite easy to create or to design minus 90 phase shifter, but at higher frequency, to design a stable phase shifter is very difficult. So that is the main drawback of the phase shift method. Now coming to the frequency discrimination method. So in case of frequency discrimination method, we are using a simple product modulator that will generate the DSBSC signal. So the inputs of the product modulator are xt and a cos omega ct, and the output of the product modulator is a xt into cos omega ct. Now this a xt cos omega ct has two sideband, one is USB, another is LSB. So to separate the either USB and LSB, we need to use a filter. Okay, so if you are using a very uh, uh, sharp and very stable filter which can easily cut out, that means suppose to separate the USB, so the lower we need to use a band pass filter whose lower cutoff frequency will be omega c and upper cutoff frequency will be omega c plus omega m. So in that case, USB will be passing through it, whether LSB will be suppressed. And if we are using a bandpass filter whose lower cutoff frequency is omega c minus omega m and upper cutoff frequency is omega c, then obviously only LSB will be passing, but USB will be suppressed. Okay, that means we will get SSB for the LSB. Okay, so this is the simple approach. That means DSB will be need to pass through a bandpass filter, and by using or by selecting the respective cutoff frequency, we can easily separate out the USB and LSB. Okay, so this is the simple approach, but the main problem is to design the bandpass filter. That means the bandpass filter which have this sharp cutoff frequency, okay, from omega c to omega m, or from omega c minus omega m to omega m, is very difficult. Okay, that means uh, there is frequency instability of the circuit. So due to that purpose, uh, SSB generation is quite difficult. Moreover, switching between USB and LSB, we need to change the bandpass filter because we need to change the cutoff frequency. Clear? So these are the disadvantages of frequency discrimination method. I hope the process are clear for the phase shifted method and the frequency discrimination method. Now coming to the demodulation of SSB. Okay, to demodulate the SSB, there are two processes are used. One is coherent detection, and another is envelope detection. So coherent detection, that means this is the synchronous process, and envelope detection, that means this is the asynchronous process. Now coming to the first process, that is the coherent detection. So as you already know, in case of coherent detection, we are using a locally generated carrier at the receiver end. That means a cos omega c. So that in case of coherent detection, just we multiply the carrier signal with the receiving SSB SC signal. So consider ST SSB equal to half xt cos omega ct minus plus xht into sin omega ct. Okay. Now, uh, in case of coherent detection, we need at the receiver end there is another multiplier. So the inputs of the multiplier are the received SSB signal and the locally generated carrier. So output of the multiplier is Vt, that can be written as half xt cos omega ct minus plus xht into sin omega ct into cos omega ct. So again Vt will be half xt into cos square omega ct minus plus half xht sin omega ct cos omega ct. Oh, so okay, there is a term associated with the cos square omega ct. So this can be expressed or expanded in term of xt into half, sorry, xt into 1 plus cos 2 omega ct. Okay, so ultimately Vt will be rewritten as 1 by 4 xt plus 1 by 4 xt into cos 2 omega ct minus plus half xht into sin omega ct cos omega ct. So obviously this one is the lower frequency component, whereas both cos 2 omega ct and sin omega c cos omega both are the higher frequency component. So if you are using a simple low pass filter, that means that will only able to pass the xt signal, and all the other frequency component will be suppressed. That means second and third term will be suppressed, and ultimately the output will be v0 output will be 1 by 4 into xt. So obviously this is nothing but the message signal. So you can easily extract the message signal from the received SSB signal. Okay, so this one is the coherent detection. So this one is the block diagram for the coherent detection. So this one is the locally generated carrier that generate a cos omega ct, and in product modulator we multiply the incoming SSBSC signal with the A cos omega ct, and after that the generate output of the product modulator will pass through the low pass filter, and ultimately we get the modulating signal as output. Okay, so this one is the coherent detection for the SSB. Now coming to the envelope detection of SSB, the first question arises: is it possible to detect the envelope for the SSB? Because we have already observed that if you are using singleton frequency, there is no there will be no envelope. It will look like simple a sinusoidal signal in CRO. Okay, but from the mathematical analysis, we can easily see observe that envelope detection of SSB is possible. Okay, so if you are considering SSB FC, that means a carrier term is present. Obviously, we are considering the FC, that means carrier term is present. So the equation for the SSB FC will be written as A cos omega ct plus xt cos omega ct minus plus xht sin omega ct. Okay, so this is the equation for the SSB FC. So A cos omega ct is the carrier term or pilot carrier. Okay, so this equation can be rewritten as A plus xt into cos omega ct plus xht into sin omega ct if we are considering the LSB. Okay, now using the trigonometry identity, you can we can write as Et into cos omega ct plus theta, where Et is the amplitude. So what is the amplitude? Amplitude will be root over a plus xt whole square plus xht whole square. So how can we get this? It is quite simple that if z equal to ax plus by, then obviously it can be written as like z equal to root over a square plus b square into in term of phase. What is will be the phase? The phase will be tan inverse y by x. Okay, so sorry, tan inverse b by b by a. So simply using that logic, we are telling that Et will be amplitude a plus xt whole square plus xht whole square. So this one is the a, this one is the b. So root over a square plus b square. So root over a plus xt whole square plus xht whole square. Now expanding this term, uh, half into 2xt by a into x square t by a square plus xht whole square by a square. If we take a from take a if we take common from this equation, so a into 1 plus 2xt by a x square t by a square plus xht whole square by a square to the power half. Okay, so you can see if we considering a case where a greater than x2, so the amplitude of the carrier is very large compared to the amplitude of the message signal. So obviously the amplitude of the carrier will be very large compared to the xht also. So xt by a will be very low or very small. So the square of that small value will be very small. So neglecting the higher order term like x square t by a square or x square ht by a square, so the value of this term will be very small, so we can easily neglect them, and ultimately we can write that Et equivalent to a into 1 plus 2 xt by a to the power half by using Taylor series. So you can write that it can be written as a into 1 plus xt by a, because 2 xt by a into half, that means 2, you can cancel that 2, so 1 plus xt by a. Okay, and we are neglecting the higher order term xt by a less than 1. Obviously the higher order term will be also very small, so ultimately we get it equal to a plus xt. So this is nothing but the envelope. So this condition will be satisfied only when envelope will get if a get the carrier amplitude is very large compared to the carrier amplitude of the message signal. Only in that scenario envelope detection is possible for SSB. So remember this condition, it is very important for the SSB. So we have observed the two different procedure, one is coherent detection and another is envelope detection for SSB. Okay, now coming to the some issues that is related to the SSB. Okay, now if we considering the advantages, if we first discuss the advantages of SSBSC signal, so obviously it is bandwidth efficiency. So we already see the spectrum of SSB. So The required bandwidth is omega m, that is the half of the DSB. So obviously it is bandwidth efficient of our DSB. Power efficiency, obviously, as we are sending only one sideband, the required power is less compared to the DSB. And noise interference, obviously, as the there is bandwidth is low or bandwidth is less compared to the DSB, so noise interference will be less compared to the DSB also. Instead of this advantages, SSB is not popular for the broadcasting. Why? Because designing SSB transmitter or receiver required a very sophisticated phase and frequency stability of the component, because we need to use or to design 90-degree phase shifter that should be accurate in higher frequency. Okay, so the requirement, as it is very difficult to design very stable phase very stable phase and frequency property of a filter or phase or the phase shifter at high frequency. So we are not using SSB. Another term is that SSB transmitter and receiver are very expensive. So to get the respective frequency and phase stability, we need to use several component also. Okay, so for that purpose, SSB transmitter or receiver expensive to design. Okay, so to suppress the one sideband, the component are very expensive. So for that purpose, SSB is not popular in broadcasting. However, SSB is used in mobile communication. So DSB used in the broadcasting of radio signal, whereas SSB is used in mobile communication. So remember this. So conclusion. So in this class we have studied uh, quadrature amplitude modulation, where we have observed that we can send two independent signal by using same channel bandwidth by two carrier, which are only differed by minus pi by 2 phase. Okay, so that is the quadrature amplitude modulation, which is also known as the quadrature carrier modulation, carrier multiplexing. Quadrature carrier means the carriers are differed by minus pi by 2, that means those are quadrature in nature. And next we have studied single sideband, which is very bandwidth efficient, power efficient, but uh, the main problem of SSB is to design the transmitter and receiver. It required very high level of frequency and phase stability, and that leads to the expensive component for SSB. So for that purpose, SSB is not used in the broadcasting. Okay, so thank you. If you have any question, please post them.